Hi, this is Les Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. The Browns-Texas game this Sunday got a little more interesting today. Former Brown favorite Duke Johnson may start at running back for Houston. The present regime did not get rid of him, but don't tell Duke. He'll have some extra incentive for the game if you don't. Don't you think his team will kind of need it this Sunday against the Browns? We've got Andy Baskin here. More sports and Les Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les Levine on a Thursday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les Levine into our 25th consecutive year. And of course, we are brought to you powered by cleveland.com. Andy Baskin is powered by me tonight. And there you are. Hello, Andy.
I'm at the Worldwide Annex, like Fran and
an
whatever
annex?
the cleaners were.
I didn't know
I'm at the Annex.
We got the worldwide headquarters and the annex.
I'm at the Worldwide Annex, so I'm very excited
Excellent,
about that.
excellent. Well, actually, the annex tonight for you is Gilmore Academy, and you're coaching hockey. Who are you coaching
I'm
this
over
week?
here. It's cold. I don't know. I coach everything. You'd say it, you name it, I can coach it. Doesn't matter. Softball, hockey. That's what I'm trying to do. This is my old age. Most people want to retire as they get older. Not me. I want to coach and aggravate myself.
Yeah, with bad knees. That's usually what goes with it.
That's true. My knees are okay so far, so
right,
I'm all
well.
right. The little kids are harder to coach than the older kids. I'll
Do
tell you
they?
that.
Now, what ages are these kids?
So the youngest group of kids, I probably 11-year-olds, 11 and 12-year-olds, and then the other ones are all high school kids. So I've started. I joined their program this year. I took a job as the head coach of the junior varsity team with John Malloy, as a lot of people know, was the head coach at Cleveland Heights for a long time, a little time at Rocky River, but he has been here at Gilmore for
All right,
better part of 2 decades now.
So do the kids call you Hey Baskin or Andy
Coach.
or Hey Coach?
I'm
What
Coach.
do they call you?
Coach.
Do
Yeah,
they
I
know
like
of your vast experience on the ice?
My vast experience has a lot of splinters in it. I can tell you that. No, they're like, oh, there's a guy that used to play for Coach Malloy a long time ago. I think that's probably what most of the kids know. It's so long ago that it just doesn't even matter.
These
And that's
11
probably a good thing. If you look at my stats, that's really a good thing.
These 11 and 12-year-old girls or boys, do they hit or
No,
what happens?
no, you don't.
Go ahead.
You don't start hitting till at least 14. Now you can be 13 and hit though if you're young enough to get pushed up into the league where you're checking, which is Bantams, which would be kids that are now 06s and 07s, because kids don't have names anymore. They just have birth years.
216-575-0403. You can email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. All right, let's talk some Browns. I understand they're playing a game this Sunday, a game they should win. I haven't seen the point spread. Any idea what it is?
I don't know. I would think the Browns probably by. I don't know.
I would just guess
I would
4
give the Browns at least
4.5 or
7.
5.
Yes, 5. I
5.
think 5's fair.
Yeah, don't come to me if somebody breaks your knee in the middle of the night. You don't come to me and say,
Thanks,
well, Les said it was 4.5. Nick Chubb practiced today without a knee brace. Kevin Stefanski says they'll make a determination Friday if they want him to go or not. What do you think? If there's any question, would you play him at all?
Jeff and I have had this conversation probably 5 or 6 times this week. I would. This is a game that's geared for Nick Chubb. They've got a suspect defense against the run. The weather could be inclement. I mean, this is a situation that is tailor-made for Nick Chubb if he's healthy enough to go. If there's any question, though, I think you've got to sit him, because I think probably Kareem Hunt would be able to pull off the same kind of thing that he's capable of doing on Sunday.
All right, so they're without OBJ. They're kind of weak with some of the wide receivers they still have. They have a problem with fumbleitis. What do you do that way? Or do you just run the ball no matter what? I mean, the defense of Houston is terrible.
Yeah, I think they're in a good position to run the ball. Just keep running the ball. And if Nick Chubb starts this week, I don't think there's any question the Browns win. I think the Browns would have beat Las Vegas if Nick Chubb would have played. They need him. They need that 2-back set. They need to get Andy Janovich involved a little bit more, maybe hand him off the ball every once in a while. I love watching the fullback run the ball. I'm not asking for more than 3 runs a game or 2 runs a game out of a fullback, but if they utilize him and I know they don't want Baker to run the ball, but it does seem like that's going to be right there for the taking for the Browns this weekend if they can take advantage of it. Like Baker didn't have that bad of a game against Las Vegas, and the drops are what killed him. And then the other thing about Nick Chubb, and I don't know if you've looked at the numbers yet, but they haven't thrown the ball to him at all out of the backfield. I think he has 3 targets the entire season. His numbers are significantly down from when he did actually play, and obviously his rush numbers are way up there. But I think he's such a talented back that they need to figure out a way to get him the ball more often and
You
in more
you
ways.
forget how good a receiver he is coming out of the backfield.
I mean, his numbers were significant last year. I mean, he can do it. Just pass him the ball, give it to him anyway. But he's got to be back on the field. That's the first thing.
All right, Andy, if at the beginning of the year you'd say the Browns would be where they are right now, you'd be happy with it, wouldn't you?
I'd be happy at 5-3. I think the dusting they took from Baltimore and the dusting that they took from Pittsburgh, it's just painful. And then the other part of losing this game against Las Vegas was, you didn't play and you slipped in the standings. And I think that's been a bitter sting, I think, for Browns fans. Obviously, if the players can avoid it and the coaching staff can forget about it, then we're all fine. But that loss, it was a tough loss because the Raiders and the Browns are going to be competing for those wild card spots. There's no way the Browns are winning the North. I mean, it would take a miracle and the ultimate collapse for Pittsburgh for that to happen. So I have
Well,
no.
although in the last couple of games, Pittsburgh and Baltimore have not played totally outstanding football.
Yeah, especially Pittsburgh. We're not there. Those teams get up for the Browns, and we just haven't been able to match their intensity, their skill level, or their speed, or their coaching. They've just had our number in both those games. So the beauty of the NFL is when you're in the North, you get to play those teams twice, but that can also be the devil too.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan, is with us. Andy, along with Jeff Phelps, from 10 until 2 on 92.3 The Fan. Andy, everything's been Browns. Well, once the Indians were done with the playoffs, you turned to about 100% Browns. How do you plan on getting the Cavs involved, or do they have to earn their keep around here?
Well, I do think that, I got excited this week just knowing that they're coming back on December 22nd, that the NBA is coming back. The NBA's got a lot of work to do. They've got a lot of healing to do too with their fans, because I think that they lost a significant number of fans when they came back to the bubble. We'll see. We'll see what the numbers look like. I think Cavs fans are pretty strong. If the Cavs are playing good basketball, then Cavs fans show up. Even in the first time when LeBron left, they were still able to put fannies in the seats when they were able to do that between LeBron 1 and LeBron 2. So let's see what happens this time. I just think there's a lot of bitter NBA fans out there that aren't happy with the way the league shook out. And I mean, I can tell you from a non-political standpoint, it was kind of aggravating the fact that the Cavs didn't get to participate in the bubble when there were other teams that weren't playoff worthy that also got to be in the bubble. And from a basketball competition standpoint, I just think it's garbage. They should have just taken the teams that were in the playoffs, moved forward from there, and finished off the season. And by bringing those extra teams in there, I just think it was ridiculous.
Yeah, but
even though the Cavs weren't very good.
But you don't think that the Cavaliers fans were totally upset that the Cavs were left out of that playoff or those extra games? I couldn't have cared less one way or the other.
Well, I think out of sight, out of mind didn't help. I mean, I think the political ramifications probably sting for some fans too. I mean, some people want to watch sports to get away from what's going on in the real world. And I feel like, and I don't say, I mean, obviously it's not my opinion, but I can tell you from the folks that call our show that the political ramifications of what were going on with the NBA didn't thrill a lot of fans.
All right, let me go back to the Browns here. Running back for Texas, David Johnson is expected to miss Sunday with a concussion. Duke Johnson, as we mentioned, would be getting the start. You think there's still any problem with Duke Johnson and the Browns, or is that a long time ago, water under the bridge?
I think if I'm Duke Johnson, I want to get out there and play as hard as I can. I don't think there's any. I want to show the Browns,
even though it wasn't that regime that did it.
Jimmy Haslam's still there. I mean, if the owner's still there, then that's got to be enough motivation for Duke Johnson to want to kind of stick it to the Browns. I mean, I think any competitor in their right mind would want to be that way. If there's just one person, even in the system, that maybe he felt that he got dissed by, don't you want to stick it to him? That doesn't surprise me at all. Now, I do think the Browns are in much better shape.
You don't think that's a bogus argument that, well, the owner, that he was the owner when I was let go, therefore it's his fault?
I don't even
I
care
mean,
about
I
the
don't know
owner
that
part
Jimmy
of it.
Haslam would be able to walk down the hall of the Browns headquarters and say, "Oh, there's Duke Johnson over there."
That's a possibility, but you got the Baker Mayfield part of that story is interesting too. I mean, Baker, you either want to be with us or you don't want to be with us. That was Baker as a reflection of the coach. I think Baker's been a reflection of the coach now too. But if I was Duke Johnson and somebody else on my team was getting into my business about my money, I'd want to stick it to him.
Hey, Brian, are you back there? Andy told me he's really hungry. He wants some cake.
Yes.
Can you bring some out? Trying to get some airtime for Brian, and right now this
Come
is
on, Brian.
the only way you can do it.
Well,
I
wait,
knew
Les, tell,
some.
tell-
I walked into the offices today, and at the worldwide headquarters, and I knew somebody let the word out that it was my birthday because there were 6 people in a row said, "Hey, happy birthday, Les." Now that doesn't happen in August or February. It happens. What a coincidence it is that they know when my birthday is.
It's so weird. Scorpio, right? You're a Scorpio?
No, it's Scorpio. You
Yeah.
got one coming up in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, I'm a Sagittarius. I'm right at the end of the month, though.
What are you?
I'm on Thanksgiving.
What are you? 34, 36?
You mean my waist? I wish my waist was at 36.
All right, we're going to see if we can go through the satellite and send the cake over to you. If not, I guess I have to have it. Andy
Well, I
Bassett.
want to see some of this cake. Where is it? Come on, man.
Oh, we really have it. It's being hidden right now. It's being
Okay.
protected. It's under
Well, happy
protective
birthday,
custody.
Les.
216-575-0403. Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan is with us. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more sports and Les Levine. New content is posted each and every day. And we post the question in the morning. You answer it all day long. We play it on the air at night from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time when we do the show live. We are powered by cleveland.com. More sports and Les Levine continues in a moment.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Do you like Ohio State football? Would you like to get information from me, Doug Maurice, about Ohio State football without having to look at my face? We have got the plan for you. Become an Ohio State text subscriber through cleveland.com. You send a text, 614-350-3315. What do you get? 2, 3, 4 texts right in your phone every day about Ohio State football. Inside information, polls, voting, all kinds of things. You can be on our podcast. We take text subscriber questions on our Buckeye Talk podcast every week. If you really want to be involved with Ohio State football, in season or out of season, become an Ohio State text subscriber from cleveland.com. Send a text to 614-350-3315. 14-day free trial. What do you have to lose? $3.99 a month after that. 614-350-3315. I'll see you in your phone.
Tri-C is here for you. Now more than ever, you need a post-secondary education. So I encourage you to start your journey here at Tri-C. The majority of fall classes will take place online, but we've added a variety of formats to meet your learning needs, and we've taken many steps to keep you safe on campus. Whether you're ready to get started or your four-year plans have changed, Tri-C is where futures begin.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Yeah, it's really like the same thing every week. You know, it's just the nature of playing in the NFL is week to week. It's always about matchups, And when you look at them from the quarterback position to the wide receiver position, they really have some matchups that create some problems. They're able to stretch the field vertically. They're good underneath. Coach Cobb, run after the catch. So we're going to do a good job, in coverage, really triggering on the ball and doing a good job when we're matched up, staying on top.
Hey, Coach, a little bit more on Desean Watson. What specifically have you seen from him this season? Statistically, it looks like he's been playing well, and the record isn't great, but how dangerous is he?
He is very dangerous, very dangerous. So I haven't slept very much this week. But when you look at them, they're doing a nice job in their scheme. You can just tell just in terms of their offense, how they put it together with the run and pass game. I think they're really putting him in a position to take advantage of his talents. And I was answering the question earlier is when you do everything right, then you gotta chase him down, which creates another problem. So he's playing at a high level this year, and he's really doing a good job running their offense.
We'll go to Mary Kay Cabot.
Specifically about Desean, if you look over his last, I think it's 5 or 6 games, he's just absolutely lights out. So it seems like he's kind of getting hotter as the season goes along, and hasn't thrown very many interceptions. So what are the talking points? What are you telling your guys about how you can kind of get a handle on Desean?
Yeah, there's some some things we want to do defensively to try to put ourselves in better positions, but you can see how they spread the field to give them opportunities. You can see how, when they're throwing the ball deep, this how they're doing a good job of protection, with their offensive line. So it's going to be us mixing our coverage, trying to get him to move a little bit out of the pocket, trying to get some pressure in his face. But we just can't let him sit back there and really just get comfortable and try to pick us apart, based on how they play us.
That's Joe Woods of the Cleveland Browns, the defensive coordinator. Andy, wouldn't you like to see some coach actually say, this team isn't very good that we're playing and we ought to shut them out, and they don't even belong in the NFL?
That'll never happen.
If these teams were as bad as the coaches make them out to be, or as good as they make them out to be, these teams, they'd never lose a game. But
that's a good point.
I checked the standings, and half the teams win and half of them lose.
It's weird, Les. I don't know. After watching Joe Woods, I'm mesmerized. I feel like I need to go to Meijer right now and buy some 7-Up,
right? And
maybe cool it in some kind of carrier unit, and then get it insured by Progressive. Why do I think this way?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
We'll have that cake for you shortly. Apparently, you're hallucinating in the back room there. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. How much longer? What is the expectation of getting back into the studio?
Oh, for us?
Yeah.
Man, we've been out since March. I have a feeling we're not going to see, I don't know, maybe first quarter of next year. Let's see if this vaccine works, right? If they can get that out. Although I was listening to some pretty smart folks talk about the vaccine and how it's got to be stored at minus 70 the other day. So I don't know if that's true or not, but man, talk about refrigeration units,
And
that's pretty cold.
You guys do a great job, though, because other than me just spilling the beans, I don't think that the average listener knows that you're what, 20 miles away from Jeff when you're doing the show?
Yeah, I think it's the hardest part, especially the first month of the show, was, nonverbal communication is so huge. And when Jeff and I are in a studio, we never walk all over each other on an interview. I mean, Jeff and I have done interviews together for 20 years. And probably for the first time ever, like March, April, and still every once in a while, right now, we'll walk all over each other. And the only time it happens is when there's a follow-up question. It's like you feel like you got to jump in really quick so that you don't cut off your partner. I think that's the hardest part of doing the whole thing.
All right, the Browns have a hard part this week against Houston. Their biggest challenge is to stop Houston's offense. How do they do that? Other than ask Myles Garrett to get
do everything?
Yeah, do everything. You've been doing it anyway.
I think what you've got to look at is the Browns just being healthy and maybe having a week off, and maybe they were just fried. I'm praying. I don't know if that's any excuse. Yeah, that's a huge excuse for one of the worst defenses in the NFL. They can't give up 35 points a game, and they didn't against the Raiders. They just gave up the run at the wrong time late in that game. And when you give up a 9-minute drive, man, that is just death in a game where there isn't a whole lot of offense and you've got bad weather. Who knows? We may have bad weather again on Sunday. We're still talking about rain, but Ogunjobi and Richardson have to step up. One of those two guys, and Vernon too. Well, somebody's got to be able to step out there. If Myles Garrett is getting double and triple teamed, right? Somebody's got to be able to come through off that defensive line and stop the run. Somebody's free.
Last week I heard you talking with Mark Johnson of the Channel 5. What are they calling it now?
News 16?
Whatever.
News 36, News Channel, Eyewitness.
News 36.
Does it matter? It's like, I don't think people know the moniker.
But I did hear Mark Johnson say that he was expecting snow and a tremendous amount of wind that day. And there was about 2 hours of bad wind and bad rain. We haven't, in the last week and a half, we haven't seen one iota of rain or snow or anything else. It was only that 2-hour period in the Browns game.
He was right about the wind, though. I mean, the wind clearly affected the kicking game and the passing game, too. So, but, yeah, you're right. It's tough. That's why I do the weather every day at the start of the show, and it drives Phelps nuts. He hates it. That's why I do it every day.
All right, Texas, with their passing offense this year, the 2020 season, let's take a look at the numbers there. And they've got 280.8 passing yards per game, which is 6th in the NFL. 8.7 yards per pass, that's 2nd in the NFL. And Watson has 17 touchdowns and 5 interceptions this season. That's a pretty good ratio.
Can Denzel Ward cover the entire field?
He's done it all year. Why should he stop now?
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Senzejo has been like the whipping boy of every Browns fan all season long, and you wonder if that's because he's in the wrong place at the right time or the right place at the wrong time.
Do you think there's a reason they haven't made a change here during this bye-week break? You would think they've had some chances to look at some other people. They either didn't like what they saw or they like what they see that's still here.
Terrence Mitchell, we need more help. Sheldrick Redwine had one good play early on. Where's he been since then? Where are some of these guys on defense to make big plays? Go back to the last game. They still only gave up 16 points, but is it so much the DBs in that game that it should have been a win?
No,
where this team could be 6-2. No, it's the linebackers, man.
Well, the problem
it's the linebackers that got to step up.
The problem with the defensive backfield, though, is you've got the names, you got the people. Unfortunately, injuries have taken that away from them.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you. And Greedy Williams and the names and the guys that we wanted to see this year that we just haven't been able to see. So again, I ask you, what's going on the defensive line when you've got a guy that's been touted as the MVP of defense in the NFL in Myles Garrett, that he's able to do that when he's not getting support from the other three guys?
I don't know.
That's my question.
Northeast Factory Direct, they've got 3 great locations to the east, to the west, and to the south. Of course, West 140th Street near the airport, Lakeland Boulevard and Euclid and Freeway Drive. That, of course, is in Macedonia. Or go to northeastfactory.com. Andy Baskin and I return in a moment. We are powered by cleveland.com.
Transform your home for the holidays with an authentic Nature Stone garage floor. No more tripping on cracked, uneven concrete. Stop slipping on puddles and standing water. It's the safer, more beautiful garage floor that's easy to clean and never needs replaced. That's why it's backed by Russell's Promise. For a limited time, get more Nature Stone than ever before with up to half your garage floor free. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com to qualify for your free flooring. It's not just a floor.
Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Yeah, I don't think there's any major overhaul. You know, we knew going in that there was going to be some growth through the first part of the season. You know, we all acknowledged the fact that we would get better each week. I think he's gotten better each week. You know, when it comes to things like footwork, I think he's feeling much more comfortable now. So the second half of the season, like he said, we're resetting and recommitting to the second half to make that the push, the run there in the second half of the season. But not a huge overhaul. I think throughout the course of the 8 games, you kind of find out what everybody does well. You know, what we do well schematically, what we do well individually, and then obviously we're going to try to play to those strengths of our players.
So we'll see perhaps maybe, subtle changes, like maybe more shotgun in certain situations, or maybe a little bit more rollouts here and there, or,
Yeah, there's definitely areas during the bye week that you highlight and that you go through and do your scheme evaluation and determine that, hey, these are some things we need to do more, or these are some things we need to do less. So from an individual standpoint from him, no overhaul really, just continue to grow, in the system and with the footwork that he's doing a great job with. But without giving anything away, you'll see different things schematically that we decided during the bye week that'll be beneficial for us as an offense.
That's Alex Van Pelt taking a look at the Cleveland Browns offense. Andy, what do you expect, or what do you hope to see? Hard to say expect, but with Baker Mayfield in the second half, because there's an awful lot riding on it, not just for Baker personally, but for the Browns organization, have to decide which way to go after the 4th year. And so on. What are you hoping happens, and what do you expect to have happen?
I think he's going to get better. If you've listened to everything that they've said over the last 3 or 4 days here, and with Baker being out because they were, just making sure that he didn't have COVID, I think he spent a lot of time focusing on some of the issues that he had in the first half of the season. And I see a Baker Mayfield that's really matured in the last 8 to 10 months, a guy that isn't worried about things that he can't control, things that he can control. His relationship with Kevin Stefanski seems to be working. And I think that they spent a lot of times just kind of reassessing what the issues were and how to put him in a good position over the last week. And I say this all based on things that they've said. So I feel kind of good. It was interesting that Kevin said he's about to ascend. And I kind of feel that too. This is a huge 8-game stretch for him. He's looked good in the last 2 games. The drop passes, I think Browns fans are willing to overlook the final score of the Las Vegas game and understand that he did what he needed to do, and the wide receivers weren't there for him. So I expect bigger and better things for Baker Mayfield, and he's got to make something happen here because he's on the verge of saying, well, if the Browns need to make a move in a different direction, what's Baker Mayfield's future? I still feel like he's on path to clearly get the extension on his contract. Or the option on his contract, and now the extension would become in play depending on the success that the team has here in the second half. But I still feel like if it was a stock, it's still going up.
Let's go to Mr. Gullible, the reigning champ of How Come Quickies. Mr. Gullible, how are you?
Mr. G.
Great show, Russ.
Today
of all days, because it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You look good. You look fine. Hope you have a good time. Happy birthday to you. You stole my thunder, Les. I was going to surprise you with a greeting, but you let the cat out of the bag. But anyway, happy birthday. Hello, Andy Baskin.
Hello, Mr. Gullible.
Hey, I've got a confession I have to make to you guys, an admission. I have to cleanse myself. I was so high on David Njoku. I thought he had the size and the speed, and I'm sure glad we have Austin Hooper now because I was so mistaken on this guy. He's got no drive. He seems to have no heart. He's dropping passes like Braylon Edwards, and I just want to come clean with you guys. I hear my confession.
Are you accepting that confession, Andy?
You know what, Mr. Gullible, I'm on the same boat with you. I had high hopes too, especially after hearing what the guys in Miami were saying, because I had done a couple of shows down in Miami and we were talking about Njoku coming here, and they were super excited. He was only 19 years old when he got here, 20 when he first got here. He's still really young. He's still only 24 years old. In the big picture of life, that's young, right, Les?
Yes.
24 still young?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Just making sure.
Well,
I
I'd switch it around. 42 looks pretty young to me now, too.
I'd be happy. 42 feels young to me, too. I would be good for that. I just, there's a part about his age that makes me want to say, I'm worried that he could be better with the second team, but his inability to block has really stood out. And, his progression into the game and, and then hiring an agent that's trying to get you out of here just doesn't look good.
And by the way, if you're going to do that, don't have him go public with it.
Yeah.
He seems to be a real head case. I'm sorry. Is it an inability block or a refusal to block? But anyway, switching gears real quick to the Indians. I think the hopes are higher than what I'm really seeing. They're losing 3/4 of their infield and Brad Hand, and their outfield is as weak as a bottle of Yoo-Hoo. And I just don't see this team doing anything this coming season in spite of the
Andy, when you go to Meyer, be sure to get some Yoo-Hoo.
That's true. Well, Myers in Mr. Gullible's neighborhood right there in Stowe.
Right.
Make sure you get that, and don't forget to pick up an air conditioner and buy some Progressive insurance while you're there, too. And your
Mrs. Gullible was just there today. It's 1.5 miles away from my house.
See?
But this is like the 1968 Indians, don't you think, with great starting pitching, but, just a weak team all the way around.
First of all, you don't know what the team is going to be. You don't know. You know that Linder most likely won't be here, but you'll have somebody to replace him, maybe 2 or 3 guys to replace him. I'll tell you the one that I think is a concern. I don't want to see Chris Antonetti go to the New York Mets. I want him right here.
No. Yes, that is a big concern. I don't like those rumblings that I'm hearing. Just one last thing, just going back to the Browns. I'm seeing either a 5-3 or a 4-4 for the rest of the season. I don't know why, but I'm kind of hung up on the Eagles, maybe because my dad is an Eagles fan, Papa Gullible is an Eagles fan. But I see them. That's the big question mark for me, whether they go 5-3 or 4-4 the rest of the season. What's you guys' take on that?
My take is it's not big of a question. You'll find out. Hang around a month or so, and you'll find out exactly. I don't know. I think they're going to win four games for sure.
Does 9 get you in?
Could sneak in one or 2 others while you're not looking. Andy, what do you think?
I think it could come down to Pittsburgh the last week of the season. I really do. And the question will be is if Pittsburgh can continue to roll, who are they going to play in that last game? Or are they going to say, hey, this is the Browns, we want to knock them out?
Not if they're going for an undefeated season, but I'll take a win. Any win that gets you to the playoffs, I don't care who you played to get there. In other words, what are you saying? Because Pittsburgh will be so far ahead that they may bench everybody?
Oh, well, possible. Well, it depends if they have a loss on their schedule. I think you just gave us a great topic. Would you rather have the Browns make the playoffs this year or ruin the Steelers' perfect season?
Andy, you're better than that.
Isn't that it's a radio topic? You know that's tomorrow.
You're better than that, and you know it.
Would you rather make the playoffs or watch the Steelers leave?
What time will this phony question be popped on the air tomorrow?
It starts right now at 6:33.
You want to warm up? All right, Mr. Gullible, we'll see. I got to let your question hang out for a couple months. You do this every day. You bring Walton and Lanier down the floor every day. See how you do. See you, Gullible.
There's the playoffs, Andy, and they need to stay healthy, especially Myles Garrett. I mean, if they need to keep him. Now, let me ask one more thing on this. Myles Garrett, I haven't seen him yet this year drop back into pass coverage. Do you think that is an option at all, or do they need to just keep him on the line?
I don't know how many plays he's done it. I've seen him coming out of the backfield. Not many.
No, Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett. Yeah, not many, but he's done it a few times. Gully, I gotta go. Andy,
happy birthday.
Thank you. Baker Mayfield's career through games 9 through 16. Let's take a look at what he did. That was the second half of his first year. 64% completions, 257 yards per game, 34 touchdowns versus 17 interceptions. You'd take that, wouldn't you, Andy?
Yeah, I'd like to see that interception number go down. But yeah, I'll take that right now.
257 yards a game, that might be something you'd hope would happen. Coming up now, Smiley One, they make it very easy for you to invest in a new heating and cooling comfort system without breaking your budget. For a limited time, take advantage of the financing special, 36 months on select Bryant high-efficiency equipment. They make it easy for your family and you to stay comfortable all year long. Call Smiley One for more details. We'll come on back in a moment. More sports and Les Levine with Andy Baskin. We are powered by cleveland.com.
We're living in uncertain times, but you don't have to put your future on hold. At Tri-C, you can move ahead while staying safe and saving money. The majority of fall classes will take place online, but we've added a variety of formats to meet your learning needs, and we've taken many steps to keep you safe on campus. Whether you're ready to get started or your four-year plans have changed, check out Tri-C's programs and resources, because Tri-C is where futures begin.
Well, hello, everyone. Let me tell you a little bit about Brown's Football Insider. For only $3.99 a month, you can get texts sent right to your phone each day from me, Dan Lobby, Scott Pasco, and Ellis Williams. In addition to that, you'll receive a Football Insider newsletter every day with special things from us, things that you won't see anywhere else on the site. You'll get breaking news, analysis, features, film breakdown, and things like that. Texting us directly gives you a great chance to cut through the clutter of Facebook, Twitter, other social media, and avoid the trolls. Also, it's the only way to get your questions on the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. So why should you sign up? Try a 14-day free trial. You can cancel at any time. All it takes is one text, but you won't want to cancel. We have hundreds of subscribers join us over the last year. They love it and have stayed with us. We're seeing the Football Insider community grow every week. And it's only $3.99 a month, which is less than 14 cents a day. What I like most about Football Insider is the opportunity to connect with you one-on-one and really communicate with you. So how can you become a Football Insider? You can click on cleveland.com/Browns, the blue banner at the top of the page. Or easier yet, text me at 216-208-3965. Again, that's 216-208-3965.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at smileyone.com.
Hi, welcome back to More Sports and Les Levine. Les, Andy, the Browns haven't had much to hang their hat on in the secondary. Between injuries and just defensive struggles, they haven't really shown much. But one lone bright spot right now has been Ronnie Harrison. He stepped in as starter in his last 3 games for Carl Joseph, who was injured. He played 169 snaps, 21 tackles, and he had that pick 6 earlier in the year. So Sports Illustrated has termed him as a breakout candidate. They said, Harrison has already had some breakout plays, but Cleveland needs that to continue, potentially to another level. A good second half to the season basically solidifies him as a starter in the safety position next year. Hopefully Grant Delpit being the other. Harrison took over for Carl Joseph a few weeks in and has not looked back. If Harrison can continue to find the ball and give a boost in the pass defense, then he will prove to be big time for this defense. The former Alabama safety could have a big second half to the season for a secondary that really needs it. So, Les, Andy, we're hoping that Grant Delpit is the answer for the Browns at free safety. But do you think that Ronnie Harrison has the potential to be the Browns' long-term answer at strong safety?
Well, I think he's got to hold up for a while and earn his way up on top when the guys who are supposed to play, when they get back from their injury situation. He's a good guy to have around. I don't think that they are portraying him as a starter.
I mean, I agree with you, Les, but opportunity is knocking for him right now. We all know
Sure.
how the NFL is, and if Grant Delpit's hurt or other guys get hurt and they need someone to step up, he's 1, 2 big plays away from solidifying a spot right now. And if the Browns find their trajectory towards the playoffs and he can help them get there, you got a chance to make a name for yourself. And with Sports Illustrated saying that, I think that's a compliment to him, and hopefully he can take advantage of the situation. It's such a fluky game sometimes, and you never know who's going to get hurt or who's going to be playing or not playing. He has the opportunity to step out and try to own something here, and if the Browns have success by winning, he'll ride the coattails of it.
On Tuesday night, when Mary Kay Cabot was here to practice for her appearance on your show,
yes,
when she was here, we brought up the name, and she brought up the name Tack McKinley, for the former Falcons defensive end. You think they're talking about him seriously, or just a name to throw out to make agents scurry around?
I don't know. It made for good news today, didn't it? I mean, it's just something to talk about. Look, the fact that the Browns are even in on any name and trying to bring someone in, I think that's good news. And, I think a lot of Browns fans felt like the trade deadline came and went last week, and it's like, well, what are the Browns doing? Is anyone not watching this defense?
Yeah, but don't you like the fact they didn't just do something for the sake of doing it?
Why do I feel like I'm sitting in the Indians dugout with you right now, and it's trade deadline day, and Mark Shapiro's sitting there, and he's up on the thing. He's sometimes the best deals you make are the deals you don't make, right? If this team truly has the opportunity to make the playoffs, I don't see anything wrong with trading a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick into next year.
If you have a chance to make the playoffs, you don't say, we're going to wait till we're better next year. If in the NFL, the way it is, if you can get there this year, get there this year.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just wondering if there were guys out there that they wanted, that the asking price was just too high. If you didn't want to give up the first or second, or maybe one of the 3rd round picks, then okay, all right, I get it. But if somebody was asking a 4th, 5th, 6th, I'm willing to deal. But who knows? Who knows who was out there, and who knows what they were looking at? And chances are that if you're a playoff team, you're probably not dealing anybody anyways.
All right, what about Olivier Vernon, who was expected to do bigger and better things this year? You think he'll be gone after the season?
Feels that way, doesn't it? If they draft somebody for a spot. I mean, we've been trying to get someone in on that spot all season. So it just feels like Vernon feels like a miss. But again, here's another guy who's sitting in a position of opportunity. The opportunity is the guy on the other side is the best in the league. So why not ride it? And I'm talking about riding coattails left and right here. But if the guy on the other side of the line is getting double or triple teamed, now is the time. You want to get paid, Olivier Vernon? Go do something right now where the opportunity is there, because they're not double or triple teaming you. It's all right there. Go get it. I think that's what Browns fans want to see.
And think about how good Myles Garrett would be if he had some help on the other side, just to free him up a little bit.
I mean, we've been dying. We've talked about every free agent defensive end from here until, I don't know, around the world and back and eternity, whatever. That's all we've talked about, is replacing him all season long. The Browns aren't doing it, so go out and do it, Vernon. I think Browns fans are tired of watching this team give up long, sustained drives when they need help. And I guess that was only really in one game against Vegas, but I mean, this 35 points a game thing is crazy. You can't give up that much
against anybody.
Yeah. Now, I know they didn't do it against Vegas, but I mean, if they don't give up a 9-minute drive, forget about the points. They win that game.
Yeah, you couldn't get the ball
back. Give yourself another chance.
When I see Mary Kay Cabot, I'll say hello to her for you.
Please, and tell her, just to prepare for our show a little bit harder.
So you never know when it's going to happen, when she's going to get that break.
That's true. Right.
216-575-0403, Northeast Factory Direct with 3 great locations. The website's what you want to check out, northeastfactorydirect.com. We are powered by cleveland.com, and we'll be back in a moment.
Transform your home for the holidays with an authentic Nature Stone basement floor. Add more livable space, inhibit the growth of mold and mildew, and improve air quality for your family. It's the healthier, more beautiful basement floor that's easy to clean and never needs replaced. That's why it's backed by Russell's Promise. For a limited time, get more Nature Stone than ever before with up to half your basement floor free. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com to qualify for your free flooring. It's not just a floor.
Wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Hi, welcome back to More Sports and Les Levine. Les, Andy, when we entered the 2020 season, everyone thought that Wyatt Teller would be the weakest link on the offensive line. Right now, he's playing like their strongest asset on the offensive line. So ESPN.com has termed him as their biggest midseason surprise. Sometimes it takes time for young offensive linemen to develop. Teller is the latest example of that being the case. He earned Pro Football Focus grades of just 60.3 and 56.7 in his first 2 years in the NFL. But he ranks first among guards with a 94.4 overall grade this season. He is a physical presence along a talented Browns offensive line, a player who opened up lanes in the running game for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt early in the season. Also, Teller allowed just 3 quarterback pressures across those first 4+ weeks as well. So, Les, Andy, when you look at this Browns team, is there anybody that has surprised you more right now than Wyatt Teller?
No.
It's Wyatt Teller. There's no question.
Yeah, that would be a guess. 3 months ago, if somebody said that they'd be flipping a coin and coming up with something. Now you'd be hard pressed to play without him. It's a good question.
Yeah, we spent, I don't know, a good portion of the offseason saying who's going to play right guard, who's going to play right guard. I mean, we were concerned. Right now, Andrew Berry, the pickup of Wyatt Teller and having him here, man, that's just pure genius. The way he's playing. And again, sometimes it's about change of scenery, and he just fits in. I mean, and maybe having Jack Coughlin next to him makes a difference too. I mean, you know, you've got one of the best in the game standing right next to you. So maybe you build confidence when you're between Coughlin and Teller and JC Treader, that you've got 2 of the best guys in the league right next to you. So it puts him in a winning position, you know. And let's face it, you know, those weren't easy games, that the first couple games of the season,
right?
Especially game 1, to have good numbers against the Ravens as an offensive lineman, it's pretty impressive.
Let's take a look at this Sunday's game. Andy, you have a prediction, a score? How about something like, if you do it quickly and you predict it, why don't you call it, I don't know, Quick Predicts?
Let me think about that. Can we do a little drop in there too?
What do you want to do?
I'm bummed. I'm not doing it tomorrow. We didn't do it. And
why?
The Browns got, because I'm filling in for Bull tomorrow. It was a last second thing. So now I'm filling in for Bull tomorrow. So it'll be me and Dustin.
Who's filling in for me?
Dan Bennigan. There's no one can fill in you. We just go from a 4-man show to a 3-man show. No one can fill in for you, Les. That's just the way it is. And especially on your birthday.
Nobody can fill in for me, so that's why they don't call me?
That's right. So we don't call anybody anymore. It's a global pandemic.
I got it. Okay, I got it.
I'd be happy to bring my machine over. You can fill in for me every day if you want to.
So all right, if you were doing a show of Quick Predicts, what numbers would you give them?
I like the Browns. I do think the offense is going to be much more explosive this week, especially because you've got Wyatt Teller back. You've got Austin Hooper back, and hopefully, if you have Nick Chubb back, I think the Browns win, and they can win. I'll give them a 10-point win. I'm going to go 34-24. Hopefully, the defense can hold Desean Watson to 24 points. Got to hope for a couple turnovers in there and maybe some sloppy ground.
Yeah, I'm going to give it the Browns 26-20. You know, it used to be you'd pick these things, you'd pick something you think it would happen, like divisible by 4 or 3 for field goals, 24-21 or 27-24. Now you gotta factor in the fact that nobody can make an extra point anymore.
I find myself, because we do these predictions for radio.com, I find myself always giving a winning team 30 points now. But it's just the ability to be able to score in the NFL is just, it's made it. I mean, I'm sitting here complaining about the Browns giving up 30 points plus per game, but it is kind of league wide.
They want it that way. They want more scoring.
Yeah, then they need it too. They need it.
Yeah. All right. Before we got one more segment to go. Do you need some coffee or tea to wash down that cake you had?
What kind of cake is this? Casada cake? Is
very
this
chocolate.
Cake?
Very chocolate.
Chocolate?
Chocolate. All the chocolate you can eat and then some.
Okay. I've got to call my coach at Profile by Sanford to find out if I can have this chocolate cake.
All right,
odds are probably not.
While you're doing that, this
this
is the one worthwhile. If you're going to break the fast, this is what you do. Let's take a break. We'll come on back in a moment. Andy Baskin is here. More Sports and Less Levine continues in a moment. Powered by cleveland.com.
Transform your home for the holidays with an authentic Nature Stone garage floor. No more tripping on cracked, uneven concrete. Stop slipping on puddles and standing water. It's the safer, more beautiful garage floor that's easy to clean and never needs replaced. That's why it's backed by Russell's Promise. For a limited time, get more Nature Stone than ever before with up to half your garage floor free. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com to qualify for your free flooring. It's not just a floor.
Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students, kindergarten through 12th grade, can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
All right, here we go. Tomorrow, of course, we do our show Monday through Thursday. We got the Weekend Winner edition with Dave Bacon. Dan Lobby of cleveland.com. He's the one on the left, by the way. He will join Dave tomorrow with the Weekend Winner show. Then we continue on today in sports history. November 12th, 1970, Cavaliers defeat the Portland Trailblazers 105-103 for their first franchise win. They had started the franchise losing their first 15 games. And which reminds me, if you want to know some of Cavs history, this is a great book. It's Terry Pluto's book called Vintage, and you get the stories of like that. Andy, they lost the first 15, win a game, then they lose the next 12, and all they did was play expansion teams during that time. It's good stuff.
How are we doing against Buffalo there? Did we beat Buffalo? Buffalo,
and was one, and Portland was the other. Didn't do very well against either of them, believe it or not. All right, Christine Martin writes in and says, I want to wish you a very happy birthday. Have a great day. Now, what do you do about a situation like this? Chris, when we were at the other place downtown, Christine used to come and bring chocolate chip cookies on my birthday for everybody on the staff. Is there a way we can make that happen again?
Yeah, of course.
Just ask for it?
Yeah.
Send Uber out there?
Yeah, have Uber cookies and have them send them back to you.
I'm going to have my people. Do you think Christine has people?
Of course Christine has people. Are you kidding?
All right, well,
if she was worthy of making the cookies, she has to have people.
They moved to the top of the line with those chocolate chip cookies. Mr. Gullible had time to write tonight. Now, are you aware that, have you ever graded these quickies from anybody?
I think I have one.
From 0 to 10, like a 8.3, you do it, you come up with it. Bud Shaw is the standard bearer of grading. He says, number one, they've got to be, you got to remember the name, they got to be quick, and no puns intended for his liking. And that's about it. If you didn't
If
see it
Mayfield's
coming,
smarter.
you get extra points if you didn't see it coming. So here's Mr. Gullible. How come I told my wife that her words wouldn't hurt me, so she threw a dictionary at my head?
7.5.
Yeah, we don't go for violence like that.
Okay,
Mr. Gullible, what would you give it?
I gave it a 7.5, but then you brought
I
up
think
the
that's
violence,
high.
so
I think that's high.
I dropped it down to a 7.4.
I'll give you a chance here from Mr. Gullible again. How come when the dentist said this is going to hurt a little bit, he told me he was having an affair with my wife? That was one according to Bud. I didn't see that one coming. Did you?
Yeah, I've got a better punchline on that, but I'll let it go because I want your show to be on tomorrow.
All right.
So.
Wow, that's it. Okay. Oh, I have my quickie?
You have one? Oh, here we go.
Oh, how about here? You can answer this, Andy, because you have kids, although I don't think they have babysitters anymore. How come if you have a babysitter on the night the clocks change, do you owe them more money or not?
Depends which way the clock's going.
So
the
one
bar
time they owe
open
you
for an extra hour?
double pay for the 1 hour on some half the year, and the rest
All
of the
I
year.
know is that I wish I was a kid that could babysit right now because that is just free money, baby.
What do you
Free
remember
money.
paying?
Kids don't
What do
even
you remember paying babysitters as the earliest ones?
Depends how long. 2 kids or 1.
Well,
7.
whatever. I
I think
started.
like 10.
I have two.
10
I had
bucks,
two. I
7,
have
10
two
bucks an
kids.
hour.
I have 2 kids. I started at $1 an hour. This is when I first started, and it ended up at $30 an hour. I
there a
think.
punchline?
I wonder if there's any openings at the Levine household.
I guess it depends how much you like your kids.
That's true. If you don't want them back, you just charge $1. Andy, great job
it's fun.
filling in for yourself tonight.
Today?
Today.
Yes. Happy birthday, Les. I just want to say happy
Thank you.
birthday to you.
Appreciate
many,
you.
many more, and you are a very special friend. I want you to know.
Thank you. Same here. You got one coming up in 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, they keep coming.
You
As
got
long
to
as they
prep.
keep
You got to
coming, we're
prep for
doing
it.
all
They
right.
keep coming whether you want it or not. No, that's not true.
Yeah,
you do
said
want it.
prep. You're saying prep for it. The problem is you got to prep with go lightly as you get older. That's the problem with prepping for a birthday when you get older.
Yeah, you're right. All right, great. The great Andy Baskin. You can hear him on 92.3 The Fan from 10 until 2. Except tomorrow, you'll be on 2 to 5 or 2 to 7.
I'll be no. It's 2 to 6. Yeah, it's a 5-hour shift. Do you think they're going to pay me more? How come they don't pay me more?
I would say,
if I do an
it's
extra hour?
it's not daylight saving times anymore, boys. Come on, come up shooting.
Yeah, come on. What are we
I'll
doing?
be your agent. I'll be your agent. I'm
we're
sorry,
waiting
Andy.
10 years
I'm sorry, Andy. There's no money left. We had a conference with Les Levine, and there's nothing left in the till.
Thanks, Les. You're a good man.
I gotta go. See you, Andy. The great
Happy
Andy
birthday.
Baskin, 92.3 The Fan. I'll see you Monday night. Bud Shaw will be with us. Mary Kay Cabot on Tuesday, and of course Wednesday, the D-Man Dennis Manilow. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.